On March 16, 1962, a routine military transport flight, Flying Tiger Line Flight 739, took off from Guam, heading toward the Philippines. The Lockheed L-1049 Super Constellation was carrying 93 U.S. soldiers, 3 South Vietnamese soldiers, and 11 crew members. Their mission was secretive, and they were flying in support of U.S. military operations in Vietnam. It was a normal day for a transoceanic flight, but as Flight 739 made its way over the vast Pacific Ocean, something went terribly wrong. At approximately 1,300 miles west of Guam, all communication with the plane was lost. The aircraft vanished from radar, and the crew made no distress calls, leaving everyone puzzled. The search begins. As soon as Flight 739 disappeared, the U.S. military and civilian aircraft launched one of the largest search efforts of the time. Over 200,000 square miles of the ocean were combed by ships and planes, but despite these efforts, no wreckage or bodies were ever found. It was as if the plane had simply vanished into thin air. Eyewitnesses, including the crew of a Liberian tanker sailing in the area, reported seeing a bright flash of light in the sky, possibly indicating an explosion. However, no evidence of such an event could be confirmed, and no debris was ever recovered. The U.S. Civil Aeronautics Board, which conducted the investigation, was left with no answers. Theories and speculation. Over the years, various theories have emerged to explain the disappearance of Flight 739. Some have speculated that the plane might have been sabotaged or attacked, but no concrete evidence supports this. Others have suggested that a mechanical failure led to an explosion or that the plane could have been brought down by an unknown enemy. The top-secret nature of the flight has also fueled conspiracy theories. Was the plane involved in a covert military mission that went wrong? Did the U.S. government cover up what really happened to protect sensitive information? These questions remain unanswered to this day. Legacy of Flight 739. More than 60 years later, the disappearance of Flying Tiger Line Flight 739 remains one of aviation's greatest unsolved mysteries. Families of the soldiers and crew have never received closure, and the incident has faded from public memory, overshadowed by other events of the Vietnam War era. In 2019, a memorial was erected in Columbia Falls, Maine, to honor the 107 passengers and crew who disappeared aboard Flight 739. While the mystery persists, the memorial stands as a reminder of the lives lost and the enduring mystery of their final moments. On the morning of March 16, 1962, a Lockheed L-1049 Super Constellation, chartered by the U.S. military from Flying Tiger Line, lifted off from Andersen Air Force Base in Guam. The aircraft, designated as Flight 739, was transporting 93 highly trained U.S. soldiers and 3 South Vietnamese soldiers on a top-secret mission to Saigon, now Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Accompanying them were 11 crew members, making a total of 107 souls on board. The mission was part of U.S. efforts to increase military support in Vietnam, a country already embroiled in conflict that would soon escalate into the full-blown Vietnam War. The soldiers were mostly communications specialists and trainers, vital to U.S. military operations. Their journey had been routine up to that point, but what happened next would confound experts and spark one of aviation's greatest unsolved mysteries. As the aircraft left Guam for the Philippines, no one could have imagined that it would vanish without a trace, leading to endless speculation and a search that would span weeks, only to turn up no answers. A normal start to a fatal journey. Flight 739's path took it across the vast, desolate stretch of the western Pacific Ocean. At 1,300 miles west of Guam, over a remote region of ocean with minimal air traffic, the crew made their last routine radio transmission at 1:30 a.m. GMT. No distress signal was sent. Suddenly, communications went silent. When the flight failed to arrive at its scheduled stop at Clark Air Base in the Philippines, alarm bells sounded. A massive search and rescue mission was immediately launched by the U.S. military. Aircraft and ships scoured more than 200,000 square miles of open ocean, spanning the path from Guam to the Philippines. Despite this extensive effort, no wreckage, bodies, or debris were ever found. It was as if Flight 739 had simply vanished into the void. One potential clue came from a Liberian tanker, the SSTL liners, which reported seeing a bright flash of light high in the sky around the time Flight 739 disappeared. This observation led to speculation that the plane may have exploded mid-air. However, without wreckage or evidence, investigators had nothing concrete to go on. The disappearance remained, and still remains, a mystery. Theories and speculation: what happened to Flight 739? Without tangible evidence, the disappearance of Flight 739 has become the subject of various theories, some plausible, others fantastical. Below are the most prominent explanations. The report from the SSTL liners of a flash of light aligns with the idea that Flight 739 may have exploded mid-flight. This theory speculates that either a mechanical failure, fuel tank rupture, or onboard explosion caused the destruction of the plane. Given that no distress signal was sent, an instant catastrophic failure seems possible. However, even if the plane had exploded at such an altitude, some debris, wreckage, or oil slick would likely have been discovered. After an extensive search, no such evidence was found, leaving the theory without physical backing. Sabotage or covert attack. The fact that Flight 739 was involved in a secret military operation has fueled speculation that it was deliberately targeted. Given the volatile political climate of the time, some suggest that hostile forces, potentially the North Vietnamese or Soviet operatives, may have sabotaged the plane. Another possibility is a bomb planted on board by a rogue element before takeoff. The mid-air flash could point to such an attack, but once again, no physical evidence has ever emerged to support this theory. Moreover, the US military has not publicly confirmed any credible threat against the flight. Government cover-up. Some believe that Flight 739's disappearance may have been the result of a classified mission gone wrong, and that the US government covered up the truth to avoid public embarrassment or to protect sensitive information. The soldiers aboard were specialists and might have been involved in clandestine operations, adding fuel to the theory. However, this theory remains purely speculative, with no substantial evidence to suggest a cover-up. The US military has maintained that the aircraft simply vanished. UFO encounter. In the realm of the more far-fetched, UFO conspiracy theories also surfaced. Some believe that Flight 739's disappearance might have involved extraterrestrial interference. The lack of wreckage and the sudden disappearance from radar have led some UFO enthusiasts to claim an alien abduction or otherworldly intervention. While intriguing to some, this theory is largely regarded as implausible and has no evidence supporting it. The largest search mission of its time. The search for Flight 739 became one of the largest in aviation history up until that point. For 8 days, search teams combed over the Pacific Ocean, using state-of-the-art technology and the combined resources of the US Navy, Air Force, and civilian aircraft. Despite their efforts, nothing was recovered. It is worth noting that another aircraft, Flying Tiger Line Flight 7816, was flying a similar route on the same day, carrying a load of military supplies. Unlike Flight 739, Flight 7816 completed its journey without issue. This coincidence further deepened the mystery, as it ruled out poor weather conditions or navigational errors, leading investigators to focus on a sudden and unexplained event that only affected Flight 739. Impact on families and legacy. The disappearance of Flight 739 left a profound impact on the families of the soldiers and crew. For years, they lived with the uncertainty of not knowing what had happened to their loved ones. The lack of closure made their grief all the more difficult to bear. Official statements from the military offered little comfort, as they could not explain how such a large aircraft, carrying over 100 people, could simply disappear. In 2019, nearly 60 years after the event, a memorial was erected in Columbia Falls, Maine, to honor the soldiers and crew who vanished aboard Flight 739. The monument stands as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the unsolved mysteries that still haunt aviation history. Despite the passage of time, the disappearance of Flight 739 remains unresolved an enduring mystery that continues to perplex historians, aviation experts, and the families of those aboard. Each year on March 16th, memories of Flight 739 resurface as the world reflects on what may have been one of the greatest unsolved cases in aviation. Conclusion: the enduring mystery. The story of Flying Tiger Line Flight 739 is one of intrigue, speculation, and heartache. More than 6 decades after its disappearance, the fate of the aircraft and its passengers remains unknown. Modern technology like satellite tracking and advanced radar would likely have provided answers if such a disappearance occurred today. But in 1962, technology wasn't as advanced, and many questions were left unresolved. The mystery of Flight 739 stands alongside other famous aviation disappearances, like Amelia Earhart's final flight and Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. It serves as a chilling reminder that despite human ingenuity and advancements in technology, nature's vastness and unpredictability can still swallow answers whole, leaving nothing behind but questions.